This is an exercise to be able to help people with their jumping positions and aiming to be a little bit more stable and a bit more secure within it. I've also added a dismounted exercise at the end in case people aren't able to ride at the moment. Really simple and something to be able to help with balance and strength. So we're aiming to be able to be obviously going from a full seat position to a light seat position. This would be towards my jumping position and now would be towards my kind of cross country, I call it racing position. So really forward out the saddle, but maintaining balance and position. And then again, going back through to the really tall position and then again back into the saddle. Just getting the feel of the exercise to start with, obviously warmed up in the trot and then start doing it light seat. Aiming for my shoulders to be square and to be able to, absorb the impact through the leg. Hands at all times must stay still as possible. So I'm not balancing on my hands. I'm really aiming to be able just to take it through the legs and get a little bit stronger and making sure particularly the foot balance is really equal as well. So this is why I quite like to be light seat. You can see there I did a little leg yield and just starting off, and I've actually got another video of this kind of exercise here, but this one's particularly in light seat. I like this because it means I have to activate my leg and really work on my balance at the same time. So making sure that the weight is equal in each stirrup. And using these narrow rails is fantastic because obviously I've got something to aim at. They're also raised, so it helps him a little bit, have to be a bit more careful and engaged as well. But you really have to channel the horse with the leg over the rails. I'm aiming, as I say, to keep my hands still. Don't want to use my hands at all. So really consciously aim my vision, so keeping my head high, looking for my rails and making sure then that really affects my shoulders, so the shoulders stay tall. But also just making sure I use my leg. I have some tram lines before and after the rails just to be able to help keep him straight and have a measure of what straight is. So really I'm working on they're helping with the turns and so forth, so I can specifically work on my position. And then now I've included a dismounted core exercise which will specifically help with this ridden exercise.
I decided to see if I can create an exercise, a dismounted exercise, to be able to sort of simulate improving my jumping position, and particularly cross country, because obviously we're not going cross country at the moment. So this exercise is actually kind of just tweaked a little bit from John Leddingham's, and we started, or he had us going or using a pole there to be able to squat on. So basically sort of your legs as if you're wide enough to be on a horse, and ideally straight, legs are pressure equally in each foot and making sure when you squat that you're straight. But I thought I'd add a little bit more of a dynamic sort of influence on, so I've got a resistance band as well, and these are a little bit like I'm holding the reins, but obviously I haven't got quite as much stretch usually on the reins as I have with this. But basically I'm going to work to start with in just holding my position, using my core, making sure that my back is soft and using my glutes, and just trying to find my balance really to start with. And then I'm going to start adding in some movement with it. So just trying to make sure the shoulders are still dropped, because I also would like to work on, while I've got these few months, that my shoulders tend to be a little bit round sometimes. So I'd like to be able to keep them a little bit more further back. So I thought with this exercise I can kind of stretch the chest a little bit as well at the same time. And do this to start with till I've got this stabilised. And you can see me working quite hard here because actually it does pull me forwards. And then start to work into more of my my position of, sort of out the saddle, galloping along. And again, trying to use my core, it's using my quads a bit, and just maintaining that position. And again, keeping my back soft without rounding my shoulders. And then over time, I'd like to be able to sort of stand up, get down, change position a bit, and basically go along much more of a kind of cross-country feel with different undulations and elements. And then build up to be able to do it on the pole. And then ultimately, I'd love to be able to do it on a kind of a balance ball, wobble board. So just to be able to really emulate the fact the horse is moving underneath me all the time. Anyway, hoping that's going to make me stronger. I'm going to start doing that kind of on a daily basis.